television podcast show.
And 5, 4, 3. All right, here we are. Here we go. I don't know what's going on. What's up, dude?
Wait, are you gonna play the song?
No, it'll be on the intro.
No, I need you to play the song.
I don't have a way to play it.
Oh man. Okay, I got to think of a song because that's gonna get me in the groove.
It's the Internet Television Podcast.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Here, dude. Here, I'll play it. Even though anybody that just watched the intro just heard it.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's fine.
We'll play it again.
First ever episode. Oh, dude, you're texting.
Oh, there you go. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Okay, that's great. All right, thank you. Makes me feel more official.
No problem. What's happening, man?
Not much. Just hanging out on a Wednesday. I just finished Tiger King season 2 yesterday.
Dang. Okay, cool. You're in a good place for this then.
Yes.
Because I've got some things to show you. Some additional information about the Tiger King.
Really?
Some extra, well, not info really, but just like I found some shit, like some cool videos about it.
Okay, nice. I look forward to
that. I think you'll enjoy. And then we wanted to. What else did we want to talk about today? This is our first episode.
Yes.
Congratulations, we did it. We're on our first episode.
I accept your congratulations.
NIU.
Yes.
NIU. I reciprocate that.
Somebody.
No shirt, no shoes, no dice.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I watched that movie because of you. So, yeah, I don't know. So we jump right into it. So what did you think, Tiger King season 2? What's your?
Yeah, I mean, whoa, dude. I better keep my hands down. Yeah, catch on fire real quick.
Do not put your hands up in the air.
Yeah. Is not as good as Tiger King season 1, obviously. I think Tiger King season 1 is good because of Joe Exotic. All the other characters, none of the characters are as good as him, right? He's the reason everything's kind of revolving around him. So they try to make season 2 revolve around him as well, using the phone calls, but it's just not him. Like him out there doing his thing, getting his foot chewed on by a tiger,
Yeah.
Him being like super.
Okay, so you didn't. But I thought as far as like, it doesn't have the funny factor at all, right? But it's definitely, I thought, more intriguing.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because the first season of Tiger King it's funny until the end. It gets really dark at the end. Mm-hmm. But up until that, a lot of it's just setting the scene for like who this guy is and who these other people are. And the whole stuff with him getting put in prison and all that doesn't happen until the end, right? You pick up on the second scene, it's more serious. It's like hey, a lot of the plot revolves around trying to get him out of prison, and then, whether or not his rival, Carol Baskin, killed her husband. That's kind of like the two big things that they focus on.
Right.
One of my favorite part about the show. Let me just jump to my favorite part about the show.
Yeah.
So all of Tiger King season 1, everything there's no like barometer for normal. Like everybody's crazy in that show. Mm-hmm. There's no hero, right? They're all shades of gray.
I felt like that one young guy, the like college student-y kind of dude,
his campaign manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but this guy chose to work for this guy. Like he ain't the brightest.
For sure.
What does he say? And he's only in season 2 for one scene, and he basically says he lost his mind because of Joe Exotic.
Yeah, which is like such bullshit anyway.
Right. But you put yourself in there. Like he kind of got in. It's like, hey, dude, you're inserting yourself into the story. You weren't like.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of, not everybody, but a good amount of people kind of did that.
Well, in season 2 is a lot of that. These lawyers and these hanger-ons that are.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
and I kind of ignored them because you could see what they were all about.
Yeah.
My point is that there's actually not a good guy in season 1. They're all like bad. Like none of them. There's no like good person. Like Joe Exotic is probably the most sympathetic as far as the audience. It's like he's the one that's popular. He's the one that people seem to like. But like if you pull back from the context of that show, the guy like it's pretty clear he like killed, you know, he's not like maybe the greatest guy.
No, he's for sure an animal abuser.
And he's a ranting and raving about murdering a lady, whether she deserves it or not. You know, it's like, all right, dude, you don't really have your shit together.
No,
all that being
like
said,
you're right. You're right. Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
They never do the like, hey, let's pull back to like some sane people in this neighborhood, right? And they finally do that in season 2, where they're like, hey, let's talk to the sheriff. Like, we actually have the sheriff. We're gonna talk to like.
They put it in context a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit context and like
the news reporter,
figures.
the lady that like covers all the local stuff. Right?
Exactly, not complete wackos, right? But like as they start pulling these people in, like the first one is the sheriff, and then it turns out like the sheriff investigating the murder isn't too bright. Like you can kind of tell that after a couple. You know, he starts bragging about how all the murders he gets are solved, but it's like, but this one isn't.
Yeah, I didn't take him like that. Like, I didn't really think he was dumb. I just thought he was being withholding because he was an ongoing investigation.
No, for sure. Some of that too. I just mean it's not, there's not a lot there where you're like, okay, cool. Like, I feel relieved. This guy's looking into it. I certainly didn't get that feeling from him.
Yeah, I rarely feel that way about any person, any police. You know,
this is just to get all this. Like, you know, I like to ramble just to get to like one little point. And
yeah. Are we entering a full spin zone right now?
Yeah, we're entering a full spin zone already. So then you have, they kind of try to replace Joe with Tim Stark. Right, and it's a very different personality. Just he's not a good guy.
Hey, not Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's an
Stark.
Oh,
for sure, dude. He's like, I think he's like the emperor to Joe Exotic's Darth Vader.
Yes.
Like he is a fucking trip.
I mean, he's like, I'm gonna slit your fucking throat, all this shit.
He's a bad news.
So he's in Indiana, so they're talking to him, and then at some point the show is like, hey, let's go talk to the state of Indiana Attorney General. And at this moment, I'm like, finally.
Yeah. Sorry. No, don't watch that. I'm trying to bring up something with Tim Stark. Don't mind the man behind the curtain. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, people can't see what you're bringing up.
No.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. Until we're like watching it, I can switch between.
Right, you'll tell me.
No one just saw that horrific fucking Guilt City thing. Yeah.
Right. So they go, we're going to talk to the state of Indiana Attorney General. And in my mind, like, I'm like, at this point, it's really absurd and crazy, the whole thing with him. And you're like, how is this guy not in jail? Okay, finally, the sane person is going to come on screen and give me an overall perspective of what's going on. And this dude comes on and right away, he's like, yes, I'm the Attorney General of the state of Indiana, a very important person. By the way, I also happen to be an Elvis impersonator.
I know.
And then he starts singing like right away. Like he's even trying to get famous.
And you know what? He was pretty good.
He was pretty good. Yeah.
He was pretty
good.
Fucking good.
But yeah, everybody on Tiger King is only trying to get famous. Even when they go to the Indiana State Attorney General, he's like, he's not thinking, oh, this is a good opportunity to get some information out of the public. He's thinking, I'm gonna
plug my Elvis impersonation.
I mean, they had a cut,
but I think but don't you feel like that
like Elvis?
But part of that is kind of like, to me, it was obvious that it's a production going to everybody and going, hey, this is Tiger King 2. Like, we're not looking for like how many like successful convictions you've got. We're looking for like, what's the weird quirk about you? And you kind of know that if you're going to be in Tiger King.
Yeah, but the fucking state attorney general should keep that shit on the down low.
Don't get me wrong, dude. Like, but that's just the wild ass South for you, or in the wild ass middle America, right?
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers just don't care, dude. They're like, I'm gonna be on TV, and to me, that just shows the state of like, not politics, but like the state of the world we live in general. Like, you're right. Like, that guy probably went to school for how many years and worked his way like up the ladder. Like,
how many,
it's not
like,
easy to become
in the state of Indiana. How many like judges and other attorney generals and lawyers watch this show and they're like, please don't talk about the, oh god damn it, Clarence. You know, like, because they all know that he has that weird shit because he brings it up probably at inappropriate times. You know?
Without a doubt. Like, there were cringes throughout the state senate or whatever, right?
Yeah.
When homeboy just starts singing "Love Me Tender." Yeah. Dude, let's watch a clip. I wanna watch a short.
This lady, man, he was really mean to her.
Remember this video from last week. This is outside of an Indianapolis courtroom moments after Wildlife and Needs Tim Stark's hearing in his case involving the Indiana Attorney General.
Sure, everybody gets in there, you bunch of motherfuckers. Watch what happens when I get you on the stand. Let's see what happens. Let's see every one of you. You ready? Are you ready for that? Because we're going to pull you up on the stand, and I'm going to show that you're the lying little that you are. You wanted to go against me? I can talk however the
Don't do that.
This is, dude. So this is maybe the only part of this guy that I commend.
English language.
New today, the Indiana Attorney General has...
Is like, he doesn't give a fuck about the cops, bro.
No.
Not one sedentary fuck about the police department. I've never actually seen somebody so loked out to the cops. But the thing that I was bummed about him on, like Sarah and I were watching it, and then, you know, when they all like show up, and by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, this is spoiler alert all over the place, so whatever. Just,
you need to go see it.
Yeah, exactly. But, and if you haven't watched it already, you're like pretty late to the game. But anyway, when they finally showed up at his place, you know, and he's like, this guy's got like, you know, Unabomber written all over him. And you're like, oh, he's going to fucking, you know, he's going to start shooting or something, right? And I told Sarah, I'm like, he isn't going to do shit. Like, the reality of the situation is, you know, this is just how dudes like this roll. And then he's going to run because he doesn't want to get arrested. He's as, I guess my point is, like, he's as much wrapped up in the sensationalism as the Elvis guy, you know?
He's just a shit talker. Like,
yeah,
you know, he's a pussy in the end. Like, he's not going to do shit. You know, it's like the same thing with the grenade, and it's a toy grenade. It's like, he's just a shit talker.
That was so funny, dude.
He's not going to do shit. Like,
yeah.
It was pretty clear. I knew that. Like, when they're coming to take the, you know, it's like the show tried to make it seem like he was going to do something. This guy's not going to do shit. It's a boy named Sue.
Oh yeah, dude. What is? I'm gonna see if I can find anything.
I don't know what's going on with him.
What is going on with that? Dude?
But it's
like,
not, you know, it's like, this
weird...
is the new Joe. It's like, there's things that are likable about Joe Exotic. There's kind of nothing likable about Tim Stark.
No, and I think that's what's interesting. That's why I kind of made the comparison from Tiger King about Carol Baskin. Ooh, dude, do you want to hear what he has to say about Carol Baskin?
I mean,
there's
I don't
not
think
a person on social media that's not like
either
a friend of Big Cat Rescue on their social media that I've seen say anything other than they think that Carol Baskin is responsible for the disappearance of her husband, Don.
I like how he's sitting with the owl.
Do you agree with that as well?
Oh, yeah. I seen on Facebook this morning when I popped it up a thing about her. And she's
I thought he was
going to
talk about being
because
Sue.
she's losing
I've seen her right on Facebook this morning.
And
I've seen an article on Facebook right this morning.
Dude, there's just, that's a good little still image of him right there. Yeah, so it's a trippy thing, dude. But I found some TV commercials that Joe Exotic did for various products during his time. If you'd care to watch it.
Like, is this before the show? Yeah, before.
This is like while he was while he was free and still like running the zoo. All right, so first one's like a burger barn.
It's like sad to me that zoo doesn't exist anymore and that he's not there doing it. Like, even though he's a bad guy, I don't know.
Yeah, but that zoo was not a zoo, dude. That zoo was a piece of shit. Like,
I agree.
Not good for animals.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. All right. So this one's for the Tiger King Burger Barn.
Welcome to the Greater Winwood Exotic Animal Park, Tiger King Burger Barn, where we have 11 different kinds of the most gracious, delicious hamburgers you'll ever have. 2 pounds of 100% natural beef along with french fries, right here at the zoo, only for $5 for a burger and fries. I promise you, you'll never eat a better burger anywhere else.
Look at the clientele, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So that's that one.
That's pretty good. The Greater Winwood, that's what GW was. Man, we got to talk about Howard Bascom.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good one too. This is the Tiki Bar.
When you come up and visit the Greater Winwood Exotic Animal Park here in Winwood, Oklahoma, and you're a smoker or you'd like a cocktail, we have it for you. The Tiki Bar. Open the entire time that the park is open, so come down and have a beer with us. Smoke a cigarette if you need to. I'm Joe Exotic, and we'll make sure that you have a good time.
Bartles and James.
So good.
It's not bad.
And yeah,
if I lived out in the Greater Winwood area.
Yeah, would you go?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like pizza, pasta, or chicken
Oh shit! It started prematurely, dude. But this is my favorite one. So this is his. He's promoting like some random pizza place.
Yeah, Zooters.
But the way he says pizza is the dopest. You ready for this?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like pizza, pasta, or chicken Alfredo, I can promise you, Zooters is the place you want to stop. It's right in front of the Greater Winterwood Exotic Animal Park. You don't have to enter the zoo to sit down and have some of the world's famous pizza, a cold beer, something else to drink, and sit down in an atmosphere next to tigers that you have never experienced anywhere in the world. Yep, you heard me right. You can sit down on the patio right next to real life tigers, and you can have some of the best homemade pizza that I make from scratch. And that's a Joe Exotic.
Wait, hold on. The twist, dude.
I'm making
the fucking plot.
I don't
twist.
want that.
He
It makes me
makes
not
it.
want that pizza.
Like that actually ruined.
I don't want you
I was
touching
like,
that
all
pizza,
right.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, like it might be some good pizza. Yeah.
It didn't look very good. It looked floppy.
No, it wasn't. It probably wasn't good. But anyway, what did you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about Howard Baskin, man.
Okay.
Because here's the thing,
yeah,
like
he's a weird character.
maybe you would think that like that Carol Baskin or him are somehow the good guys in this. Certainly, like, you know, I don't know much about PETA or all the like controversy around them and politically and all that, but I will say that like PETA being openly allied with Carol Baskin makes PETA look bad. Like, hey, you're like teaming up with
it's definitely
a
like a lesser of
sociopath.
two evils. Well,
Right.
yeah, it's just weird that they team up with anybody in that community, period.
I mean, her deal is not tigers. Her deal is her. Her deal is her.
Yeah, she's like a narcissist.
She's a narcissist sociopath, like clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It makes me think like, I don't know much about PETA, but it makes me have a lower opinion of them that they would even associate with her. It's like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they had to pick a dog in that fight.
And then this
And so
guy,
they
her
were-
husband, like, dude, like, get this guy off camera. It's so embarrassing. Like, there's a point where he puts on
Yeah.
like the bandana and he's like, I'm Jeff Lowe. I think I'm so sexy. He starts just, he can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. Or when he's
Yeah.
cutting the like GW logo, you know, and it's like so.
Right. Yeah. Dude, when we were watching that part and he had that
I thought he was gonna cut himself for
That
sure.
bandsaw, dude, I told
thought
Sarah,
for
I go,
sure he
dude,
was
watch,
gonna
he's
cut
about
himself.
to cut his goddamn hand off.
Yes.
Because those things are known to kick. They're like the most dangerous.
Yeah.
You know,
And
piece
he's
of
just an
equipment.
ineffectual sort of weakling man. Like,
Oh, dude, if you looked up the word cuck in the dictionary, it's like that dude
Right.
with that Jeff Lowe bandana.
yeah. Yeah. He's rough. So I just wanted to give a shout out. Let's not overlook. There's so many awful people that we should still pay attention to the like, this guy's terrible too, even though he's not completely awful, like Jeff Lowe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Jeff
agree.
Lowe said
I'll
he was
tell you
going
what-
to whore out his wife if he ran out of money.
That was gnarly, dude. That was like an underappreciatedly terrible part.
But he said stuff like that in season 1 about her too. He's a scumbag and he can't help himself.
Yeah, I feel like he probably has prostituted his girlfriend out. Like, I don't think that's
Yeah.
new topic in their world. You know, like she
Yeah,
didn't seem
has a
that
sex
put off.
tape. She has a sex tape and it's not him in there.
What was her name again? What did you say it was?
Lauren Lowe.
Oh, really? Wow. I'm gonna assume you've seen it.
I took a look, yeah, for the sake of the show, man, for research.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the prognosis?
It's like a homemade sex tape. I
Yeah,
think it's like
yeah.
before him or something. Like,
That'd be better if he was in it. though.
yeah, but dude, and he's got her like my favorite is when he's doing the interview and he's got her in the back, like in the short shorts, like laying down.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing
Just
is
a sleazy dude, man.
exploitative, right? Like of her, like and then like they have to do a little thing where there's like two chicks in a bed, you know?
Right, that whole
It
thing,
just-
right? It's like
It's so crazy, dude. What did you think about What did you think about the hitman guy? He's gnarly.
Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Alan is like dangerous, like dude, like
Human being. Like of all the people and all their bullshit and Joe Exotic's shooting his mouth off and Stark shooting his mouth off and all these dudes and even what's his face Low like talking a big game or whatever, of all those people in my experience, and I told Sarah this, I was like, that dude, that Alan guy, right? I was like, that guy's fucking dangerous.
yeah.
Like that dude has the look in his eyes like he would fucking take somebody's life. For sure.
Yeah, no, I don't trust Alan, man. Like,
No.
but it is interesting
he-
that they have him saying all that he's saying now. I'm trying to look up something.
Well,
about
but what I was telling her at the time we were watching, I was like, you know, it's one of these weird, and he says it in the thing. He's like, like honor amongst thieves, right? Like that dude's like a legitimate career criminal, and he
Right.
doesn't feel right about what he did, right? Because that dude probably has done some heinous shit for
You know
real.
what's awesome, dude? I just had to look this up, but that's not how you spell pizzeria.
No, it's not. Hold on.
It's an E instead of an A. It's pizzeria. Like,
Yeah, it's Pizzaria. Oh my god, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
man.
How has nobody picked up on that?
I'm sure a million people picked up on it, dude. It's just there's so
That's
many layers of
hilarious.
dumb to this guy that like you don't know
But
where to
he, like,
start.
no one spell checked it, and then
Yeah.
they made a fucking sign, and those things are not cheap.
Yeah.
either. Like those big
Mounted
letters
up on the
are-
top. I also like that every time. It's clear he's just buying Tuff Sheds. He's like, this one's gonna be a pizzeria. Like,
Dude, do you think he gets like a discount, like a bulk discount on Tuff Sheds?
I don't know. He's got a lot. There's
Yeah.
clearly no zoning or code. Like, come on, bro. This is not so.
Dude,
whatever this-
Oklahoma's it must be just the Wild West, dude. You can
Right.
do whatever you
That's
want.
why they're out there having.
Dude, you want to see a trippy ass German Ninja Turtles
Sure.
commercial?
Yeah.
All right.
Band. Oh.
Oh shit.
Sauerländer Gurken, knackig im Biss.
That's a pretty good commercial.
The crunch at the end is probably what makes it the
Crunch is
best.
a little
though.
rough, but that's a pretty good commercial, man. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know why. I mean,
I
don't
get
really
it.
know
They
why
were gonna see his
ban it.
turtle dick, and then he pulled out a jar of pickles,
Yeah.
which look like
Yeah,
turtle
yeah.
dicks. I don't know. That makes me want pickles.
No,
But
it
I
doesn't.
think the
It
commercial's
definitely
funny.
doesn't accomplish selling pickles, but
Maybe
It's,
later I'll want pickles.
I'll tell you what, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Regardless of whether he made it or not, now I want pizza. That's a fact.
But if I had a slice of Joe Exotic pizza for you, would you eat that?
I'd probably eat it. Yeah. I don't
Dude, you're gonna get food poisoning.
Nah, whatever. You think how many? Okay, what do you think the health record is at the Joe was at the Joe Exotic Cafe?
I don't think it's good, but I also think that, like, judging by the clientele, I think that if you eat shitty, then like you get used to eating shitty, and you'll process it better. If you're like a clean, healthy eater, and then you eat something shitty,
Oh, for sure.
or you're getting
Yeah, it'll
exposed to
wreck
bacteria that
dude.
you just haven't been exposed to before, you know?
Dude, speaking of which, after the last time we talked and we were talking about McDonald's, and then I went and ate McDonald's, dude, and I had a fucking Big Mac, a
Big
large
Mac attack.
fry.
Well, Big Mac
I
attack.
had a Mac attack. I
Yeah.
had a little bit of a Mac attack.
Yeah.
Insert. Oh, dude, I need like a Mac attack sound.
Yeah.
I had a Big Mac. I had a McRib. and a
Oh
large fry.
shit! 2 sandwiches.
Dude, it was fucking dope. The McRib's a weird oddity of a sandwich, dude.
I don't fuck with the McRib, dude. It's gross.
Why don't you like it?
Come on, dude. It's like fake rib press, like meat. I don't
Not
fuck
into
with
it.
McDonald's, period. And when I do, I go Big Mac.
Yeah, I typically go quarter pounder with cheese and bacon, but their bacon sucks,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
It is
super
actually
thin.
one of the worst things on their menu.
How thin can you slice the bacon? They're gonna find out you can see through it.
It's that thin.
Yeah,
It's
you can
like,
see
dude, their bacon's like that microwavable bacon that
Yeah.
doesn't even taste
I don't
real.
like it.
Yeah, I don't either. So switching gears a little bit,
Yeah.
video games.
Okay.
What's hot? What's not, dude? I want to start a segment on this show where we start Ask the Pro, and I want to talk about like what's gonna be the new. Okay, what is gonna be the new big MMO in 2022? What's gonna dominate? Is it gonna continue to be the reigning champs, or is it gonna be something new?
Yeah, I think it'll be
'Cause
the
there's-
reigning champs. I don't think that, at least from what I've seen, I'm not an MMO expert, but I don't think that there's anything new. What do they have? The New
Because
World, like
We talked
cares about that.
about.
WoW.
we
WoW
talked
is the
about this.
champion. Like,
Well, you've got the new Harry Potter game.
but that's not MMO, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We talked about
It's,
this. And I'm gonna play that. I'm really excited to play as Harry Potter, running
yeah.
around Hogwarts.
Some dude has a 47-minute review of New World.
Look at the picture.
It's not promising.
No.
He looks heartbroken.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really
That's-
play the MMOs. I don't know. I think that
Okay, so what's
WoW
going to
will
be the
continue to
best?
be the
What's going to
best
be
one.
the best game of 2022?
yeah, I don't because a lot of games from 2020 and 2021 kind of got pushed out to there, right?
Yeah.
So that's like interesting. I think that I heard good things about that Elden Ring game.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I haven't played it, but like if it's what I'm hearing is like, hey, it's a big open world RPG like Skyrim, but the combat is actually like challenging and good. And it is the guys that like built Dark Souls, I think, and they make good combat. Hard.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I never played Dark Souls.
Dark Souls and Demon Souls, like those games are known for being like hard. Like that's, you know, I think that kind of got lost somewhere in the last 20 years, where like the idea of like now if you buy a video game, it's like expected you should be able to beat the video game without too much trouble, you know?
Right.
But they make games where it's like, no, this game's hard. Like you're gonna have to like do good or you won't be able to beat this game.
Right. Well, and you know what was weird about that game is like I saw there was like a pre-release video, a teaser video like a long time ago that came out with like a really cool monologue over the top, and you probably saw it, and Elden Ring or whatever, right? And I was like, dude, this game looks fucking intense, right? And like well made, and it's R.R. Martin and all this stuff. And then I saw the gameplay footage, and it wasn't that it was bad, but it wasn't how I thought it would look. It looks like very like Japanese market. Like it looks like, and I just didn't expect that. Not saying that it's bad, but I guess that makes sense because Dark Souls was like that too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, that's the thing is like, so I haven't watched any, I have like I don't like to watch trailers. It's the same thing with movies. Like I do not watch movie trailers of movies that I want to see because I feel like they spoil the movie. Like I'd rather like,
well, they definitely in shitty comedies, they typically show the best and funniest parts.
Yeah. Or even in any movie, it's like the more I know about it, then my mind is like waiting for that part, you know? Oh, I know this. I know he's going to get the special sword because they showed that in the preview. And so then there's all this struggling in the beginning of the movie. And I'm like, that's because he doesn't have the special sword. I saw that in the preview, you know, like, and so I just,
so you feel like it. Yeah. Well, and you know, I feel like they've dumbed down like the world so much now too, that they kind of like walk you through the narrative of the plot a little bit. Right. And it doesn't leave it up to the imagination. Yeah, I guess that's
and it's like over explained. So you watch the movie and they already told you the first like 75% of the plot in the trailer. You're really just like catching up to the finale. You're seeing how they got there, but you're not like seeing it from nothing or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Have you seen that movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that movie I saw with zero context, like including I didn't even know Denzel was
yeah,
in
me
it.
too. I don't think I saw the preview for that movie.
Someone was like, man, like I didn't even know Denzel was in it. Like somebody put it on in my house. What's this called? Man on Fire. I'd never heard of it. Okay. Started watching it, right? And so like spoiler alert. It's a super old movie.
Yeah.
There's like maybe 45 minutes of that movie where it seems like what the movie is about is an alcoholic gaining redemption through mentoring a child. There's no
that's interesting,
right? Like
I knew it was,
like,
so I must have seen a preview because I knew that wasn't what the plot was,
right? Because
that's
I went back
fascinating
after and watched a trailer, and so what ends up happening in this movie is she gets kidnapped, and then it actually becomes a brutal revenge story. Like one of the best,
really
like
well,
brutal revenge stories.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Me too. Anytime you have like that kind of like revenge story where the person doing the revenge like is already forsaken their own life, they don't care.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, and they're just out for blood. Those always make a good movie, right? But
Rambo.
Yeah, for sure. And so what made that movie even better for me is that like they do a really good job in the setup of like making you think that this is what the movie's about. Like,
yeah,
he's gonna protect her. It's like the bodyguard. You think it's kind of the bodyguard,
right?
Like, yeah,
they're gonna grow closer, and he's gonna have a kind part in his heart again. Because I also like how they're very this is actually like sort of the opposite of what you're talking about with the way that they're doing movies now, where they allude to his past and it being really gnarly, but they don't go too much into it to the point where it's like fucking lame
or
it's
obvious that he's gonna do it again, you know.
But they, you know, and Chris Walken's in it, and it's like kind of the best guy to have in that role. But they just sort of like, between his depression and his alcoholism and some of the things they say, like scars on his body and stuff, you really get this vibe of like, this dude did some gnarly top secret black ops shit and probably murked a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, this guy killed a lot
in like horrible ways, right? Yes. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, just you know, the whole thing about trailers is just that movie, if I went afterwards, I went and watched a trailer. In the trailer, they show you that, hey, that first 45 minutes is actually fake. It's just a setup for the revenge story. And so you go into it, you would watch it knowing that, okay, get past this. Let's get to the revenge part. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, Dakota Fanning is making Denzel Washington learn about himself. And like, I honestly thought there wasn't going to be action in the movie, that it was just going to be like,
that's pretty funny,
drama.
Dude. That's actually hilarious. Like, you thought it was a buddy flick.
Not a buddy.
You thought it was, or like a feel-good redemption story.
Yeah.
The
like
Legend of fucking Badger Vance, dude. But with that,
right. And then all of a sudden it happens, and like, you know, it's a slow boil into the, it seems like, oh, like what's going to happen? You know, it's hard to say after the kid gets taken, what's going to happen. It takes a little bit for him to like, okay, I'm getting, like when he goes to Christopher Walken with the shopping list, he's like, I need this shit. And it's like rocket launchers and grenades.
Yeah. And I thought that was cool too. Like for how well made of a movie that is. And like, you know, it's not corny. They still incorporated one of my, and I'm gonna pull the video example of this up in a second, but they incorporated one of my favorite things in an action movie, which is weapon gathering montage, right?
Yes.
Like they did it in like a really good way. I'm gonna pull one up that does not do it in a good way, but it's also like one of my favorite of all time because I grew up with this, and it just made me like love guns more than anything. But but it's cool. Like they incorporate that, you know. I just thought that was cool,
but not in a cheesy way. You're right. And by the way,
yeah,
just
but they keep it in a sorry, they keep it in a pretty cool way.
Christopher Walken, for my money, Man on Fire is his best performance. Like he's so good in that movie. Like
he is really good. You're right. I mean, he is really good in that movie.
And there's nothing about his character that in almost every movie that he's in, and maybe this isn't true early, maybe I need to go back and watch some of his earlier movies, but like it definitely is true as of late. It's like he's playing a caricature of himself. There's a wink, wink, nod, nod to the audience about this is Christopher Walken or Cowbell.
Super meta, right? Yeah.
Right. You know this guy, and like you know his voice. It's not played. He's never like serious, you know.
It's almost like he's just doing like a cameo.
Yeah, he's just doing a cameo. Even in Pulp Fiction, right? It's like it's a cameo, and it's like meant to be like.
I don't agree with that. Because that was before all that stuff too.
Like it's meant to weird you out, and they're playing upon the fact that he's already weird, right? So he's the straight man in Man on Fire. He's not weird.
I don't find that to be true in Pulp Fiction, but that's interesting. Okay,
he's weird in Pulp Fiction when he's like, it's a long elaborate story.
But that's just the nature of like
it's Quentin Tarantino.
That's the nature of Tarantino, though. Yeah, he makes everybody weird.
I'm just saying that's probably like one of his more memorable, like notable.
Okay.
Roles, right? Like that little cameo, or like to your point, his cameos, that's like the one that people
you're definitely right. I agree that in Man on Fire is probably his most understated role.
Yeah, like
but it's still him. Seems yeah. That and a close second, Joe Dirt, you know.
Dirty.
I poke at your eye with a soldering iron.
All right, what you got, dude? Let's watch some Commando.
Oh yeah. And then I want to talk more about Chris Walken. But
you like how I turned this video game conversation into Man on Fire, into Chris Walken, into Commando, back to Chris Walken.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You're multifaceted. All right, so this is my favorite weapons, like, you know, like fucking montage, right? Like they're gonna do it up. There's
getting ready, suiting up.
Followed close second by Rambo, but this is the.
What makes these good, by the way, is the clicks when the gear is clicking.
Yes. This is another Arnold Schwarzenegger lace up, dude.
Yeah, he has like a million.
Okay, here's the one that I'm actually looking for.
Oh, you're looking for the cat.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger has suited up 100,000 times.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But there's actually another one.
You get great YouTube suggestions. You watch a lot of movies.
Did I? Why did it? Oh yeah, really?
Predator is another good one where he paints himself with the mud.
Yeah. That is a good one, but that's not the. I'm looking for one. It's in this same movie, but it's like he like goes into this.
like Commando 19.
Commando
Prep scene.
Huh?
It's that like preparation scene.
Gun locker. Yeah, this is the one, dude. Maybe. No. Maybe no. Anyway, I don't know. I'll find it. But maybe it's.
Yeah, how much movie can Arnold be in without Arnold having to talk was the game back then. That's why it's like
that makes sense. Yeah. Huh? Because he just sucked so bad at talking.
Yeah, he just had the crazy accent. And I think back then Hollywood was a little too like inside the box. Like, we need you talking like this. Yeah. It's like, because eventually like that's part of his charm is his accent, you know? Like,
right.
People like him for that.
Yeah. Oh, this might be it right here.
He was my governor at one point.
He was all of our governor.
Well, not all of us. Me and you. If you didn't live in California, no one cared.
You know, in like a larger sense.
He's the governor of America, his heart and soul.
All I'm saying is Arnold Schwarzenegger has loaded a lot of weapons.
He's loaded
and if you've ever actually loaded a gun after growing up watching that, it's the most anticlimactic thing. It doesn't make hardly any of those cool noises.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Chris Walken? Okay, so your favorite Chris Walken movie is
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire?
Yeah.
I like him in. Have you ever seen King of New York?
I don't think so. Or if I have, I don't remember it.
Man, he's pretty good in that too.
I like him in that music video where he dances.
Oh yeah.
I like him in the skit, the more cowbell skit.
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie. No.
Oh really? Yeah, that's a good one too. I won't bore you with.
I don't fuck around with Wesley Snipes, dude.
What?
I'm just kidding. I love Wesley Snipes.
Why don't you like? Why would you say that you don't?
It's just a joke. I don't know. Wesley Snipes is great. Is he in jail still, or is he back? He was in Coming to America too.
He's been out of jail for a long time, I think.
Okay, I don't.
He went to jail for like tax evasion or something.
Yeah,
I mean that was like in the early.
Right. Well, it's the problem I have right now is like I'm at that age where if you say 2012, I'm like, oh yeah, a couple years ago. It's like, no, dude, that's 10 years ago. Like,
yeah.
Right.
And I think he went to jail in like 2008.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool to see him back.
If maybe not even
too.
Before that. Was that good? I didn't see it.
Oh, dude, it's great.
Is it good? I love Coming to America. Okay, so Coming to America 1 is maybe one of my favorite movies of all time.
There's definitely parts of it where like
people bagged on Coming to America 2
I know.
badly.
I mean, I think you just have to accept what it is. It's hard to make a movie like a sequel to that later or whatever, but like Eddie Murphy's in it. You know what I mean? It's not like they remade it with Zac Efron. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and I think Arsenio Hall's in it.
Arsenio Hall's
right?
in
like the whole cast.
The plot, you know, the problem with it is like what I would say is like that it's in line with Coming to America 1, which is no longer in line with like modern comedy, right? And so like. And there are definitely some things that they're doing. Like he goes back to the barbershop and it's like the same four hymns.
Yeah.
You know, but like, and so like you could say, but isn't that what people want when they watch Coming to America 2? I don't know. I thought it was funny. It had me laughing. Like,
yeah, I'll have to watch it.
It wasn't.
I watched the, you ever seen that show on Netflix about like the behind the movies things? Like how did this get made or how was
I
this
watched
made?
the Jurassic Park one.
That was good. Have you watched there's one on Coming to America?
I stopped watching after Jurassic Park one because of like how it was a little too like it seems like somebody watched a like YouTube video. It was like, let's make a TV show in this tone. Like, hey, everybody want to know the top 10 secrets behind making the movie?
Oh, okay. So watch the more recent seasons.
Okay.
They're not like that.
You know what I'm saying? Though the first one was very
they
like,
get away. Yeah. They get. You remember that, dude? You remember that show with Mark Summers? About like how candy's made and shit on the Discovery Channel. Yeah, how it's made. Yeah. And it's like, I see what you're saying. You're right. That first season of that show was like that, like very kitschy, like Nickelodeon style.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right?
And but just too much like making everyone a character. It's like
no, yeah. The new ones are not that. And they talk about like the most recent season, it did Coming to America, it did Alien. It did a bunch of shit, but it's really good, and it gets into like some crazy shit behind
movies
this. Like,
that made us. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, movies that made us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it another chance because I was bummed. I was like, man, especially that Jurassic Park episode, because they talk about something that's like, oh, that's cool. Talk about more of that. Instead, they immediately
it still does a little bit of that stuff, where it does like has kind of funny music at some points and like, kind of makes a little comedy of it. But it's toned it down, and Yeah.
Okay.
Because, like, for instance, not to give a bunch away, but it talks about how, you remember in Coming to America, how they do a throwback to Trading Places? When they're like, when he like gives them the money, the two bums, and it's the two guys from Trading Places.
Yes.
And they're like, Mortimer, we're back, right?
Yes.
Dude, whatchamacallit, the director, like, on his life didn't want to do that. He didn't want to recall those two guys, and the assistant producer kept pushing for it and pushing for it and pushing for it. And the only reason why that ended up being in the movie is because towards the end of that movie, the director and Eddie Murphy fucking hated each other to this day. Like, they're not really good.
So Eddie Murphy jumped on the other side.
Yeah, and so it got down to this like last minute decision because they kept putting it off, and he basically played like a mom and dad game with them and got it in because he asked Eddie Murphy's like, what's his face say? And he didn't like it. He's all, let's put it in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, that's like one of the best meta kind of things in that movie is like, oh, dude, they tied it into another Eddie Murphy.
I thought it was cool. I think it was like a cool little moment. Like, why not? You know, I think that kind of stuff now is less cool because it's so overdone.
Yeah, for sure.
But when they did it, it was cool.
You know who kind of fucked all that up is like the Marvel. Like,
I was gonna say
Marvel all the comic book movie universes really screwed that up. But because they're just like, let's have intersecting universes on intersecting universes. It's like, God, it's such a fucking cash grab. It's like, dude, just chill out. Let the movie stand on its own. Like, you don't need. I was listening to there's this podcast called This Is Important that it's like the three guys from Workaholics.
Okay.
Or four guys. It's the three characters and then the guy that plays Kyle who's the fourth writer on the show.
Okay.
And they were talking, it's a comedy podcast. It's pretty funny. And but they were talking about that Dune movie, and me and you were talking about Dune. And the guy Kyle, who has a smaller part in Workaholics, he plays their friend Carl in Workaholics. But he's like the main writer on the show. But he was talking about how this same kind of thing, it like pissed him off about, it felt like it was a cash grab that like, and you were talking about this, about how in the first Dune movie, it's like they leave hella shit out on purpose to sort of just like, to sort of allude to try to make like a precedent for 4 movies. But his thing was the same thing as what you're saying is like, dude, just finish the first movie. Like, why does Hollywood have to like put a ton of other intersecting plot lines in the thing? Like, dude, just make a standalone good piece of film or whatever.
Yeah. The other thing that bummed me out more about it is that, especially with like the comic book or the, you know, Star Wars is like another good example. It's like every single character they want to take, you know, there's a movie and the movie exists and it has a plot and there's some character that's tertiary to the plot on the side that's a cool character, and they go, hey, what if we made a show about that character? Hey, what if we made a movie about that character?
What does tertiary mean?
Like on the side, like not the main.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's like you know, it's on a side. It's like a side plot thing, right? Maybe I might have used that word wrong, but it sounds good.
No, I really just don't know what it means. I've heard it before, and I'm always like, oh yeah, tertiary.
We should look that up. We should look that up.
Yeah.
That could be wrong.
Cool.
I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
Don't call me out on my word choices, bro.
No. I don't know what it meant. I didn't know.
Let me roll. It sounds good if you just let me roll.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it's this like instinct to like, oh, people liked, you know, Avengers. Let's make movies about every single character in Avengers. And then let's make TV shows about the side characters. Like, let's make a movie about Thor. Now let's make a TV show about the villain in the Thor, you know, like,
right.
Or
like
Star Wars, you know, like, hey, let's go back and like, there were these 3 movies and people really liked the smuggler Han Solo, the like mysterious smuggler guy. Let's like go back and do an origin story so there's no more mysterious part. The thing that people liked about it. You know what I mean? Like, just, and
no,
of
that's
course,
a really good way to put it.
Was what I would have imagined in my head. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right. Like, let's do away with all the coolness of it and let's just make it all like out in the open and every fucking nook and cranny explored, right?
Yeah, and like to ad nauseum, it just
feels like a money grab.
Like, I mean, look at like, you know, Marvel does it that way. Look at DC; they just like reboot over and over and over again, or they make like, you know, it's like,
how many Hulks have there been? Like,
oh, I don't know.
5.
There's been
5 different Hulk characters. Like, actors have played the Hulk.
No, I think only 3. I think that they've done, or maybe 4 if you count Lou Ferrigno, but that's way back in the day.
No, I'm talking.
Yeah, because it was like Edward Norton, the other guy, and then this dude, Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Edward Norton, and that other guy.
The guy that's in Troy. Also plays the Hulk.
Yes.
And then there's another guy.
Okay, yes. And then before that, there was Lou Ferrigno. So there are 5, but Lou Ferrigno was like 80s, you know? First.
Yeah, I want to say there's been more than that.
It's wild. I mean, yeah, dude, look it up.
Yeah. I want to say there's been 3. The Professor's
Who has been the
whole?
Hulk?
No.
That's a good, yeah, that one.
Here's why Marvel. Yeah, are there 4 Hulks? Okay,
No, this is like
too
some
much.
other.
This is too much comic book nerdery. Yeah, I can't get into it.
But it's just like forever going deep
Yeah.
on side characters. You end up making these movies. Like, did you see that movie Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix,
like
man, great actor, did a great job.
You didn't like Joker? I thought that was one of the rare ones where I was like, that was actually worth doing.
What was the point?
Really?
Yeah. What was the point?
Really?
What was the point of it?
I mean, look, it had no. Okay. If you look at it from the perspective of like, what relevance did it have in the universe of superheroes? None. 0. Right? It's not relevant to any larger tie-in thing.
Right.
To me, it was like, let's take a comic book character and do just like a artistic representation about that story that doesn't have any like like to me that movie never even needed to be made by a company that even produces that franchise. To me, it's like an independent film that's like a take on Joker. And
no, you're right. It's not tied in with anything else. And in that,
like
I'll give
there
it
never needs to be a sequel. It never has to be based in any sort of like, universe reality to the rest of the Batman franchise at all.
I mean, it serves as like a prequel to any Joker, any movie that has Joker. You could reflect back on this, right?
Yeah,
like,
and I guess that's where I don't even like care if it's a prequel, right? To me, it just felt like a really interesting take that a guy that doesn't do superhero movies from a directing standpoint,
right,
and a guy who doesn't act in superhero movies, like got their hands on it in a weird way. If you're like a purist of comic books and the narratives and all the stuff, it's like a wet dream for them, right?
Maybe,
because it's like good director, a great director, a very artistic director who also does comedy, like a very well-rounded guy, right? Like Todd Phillips, a really well-rounded director. And then probably one of the best, one of the top like method sort of tortured artist actors of our generation kind of get in a room together. And I watched a documentary about that movie, and like a lot of that was improvisational. Like a lot of the shit that he did for the Joker part was just like, okay, dude, this is what, like, okay, like, the scene where they're in that weird little bathroom, that was like the porta potty, that was completely improvised. They were just like, he was just like, go.
Remember, like when you remember when he took his little hiatus and he came back and he did "I'm Still Here."
Mm-hmm.
The awful, like,
yeah, it was fake.
Andy Kaufman-esque wannabe performance art or whatever, and just really uncomfortable and not enjoyable in any way.
I never watched it, and I just because I didn't really want it to bum
because it's uncomfortable and not enjoyable in any way whatsoever. Like, I enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Joker.
Oh, it's interesting. Yeah,
it's a brutal assessment on my end.
I think you have to me to enjoy that movie. And again, I'm not a big superhero person, so to me it doesn't matter. Like, to me, I just look at it like, oh, that's interesting. I like Batman, but I don't really like care about, like, I've never bothered to watch all of this. Like, all the Marvel stuff is what makes my head fucking
it's wild.
Hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you even start? And you got to go 18 hours deep to even understand what's going on. And then there's like this, then the DC stuff with that remake or the director's cut that guy did. I can't get the one with Jared Leto and shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes. I'm like, this is so fucking out there. And like, you have to have so much prerequisite knowledge to understand what the fuck's going on right now. But I like the Joker movie just as cinema.
Yeah, it's a one-up movie. It doesn't have to be like, even if it wasn't Joker, if it was, it's not tied to Joker and Batman. I get you.
Like,
I didn't enjoy it, but I get
to me, it was like, let's okay. It is the movie equivalent of like, when you used to play Grand Theft Auto and you could use the mod to like turn off the crazy gravity.
Yeah.
And like everything was like real and like you couldn't jump very high and cars slammed into everything and driving was super tough.
Yeah.
That's what Joker is to the comic book
Fair
universe
enough.
movies.
Sure. It's like,
It's like, let's make it as practical to what actual human capacity could be in the
super
context of
grounded,
the story. Yeah. And like, yeah, he can't, because even like the grounded Batman movies are not grounded. It's like he's still kicking people across buildings, and this fucking guy is like defying the laws of physics left and right. And Joker is not that.
Right.
It's like a true story of psychosis
Yeah.
and sociopathy and like anti-heroism and a really interesting social narrative, right? So I liked it for all those reasons. It has no place in like the
I just didn't care. You know, in the end, I was like, why did I watch?
Fair. But I think that's what's kind of cool about that movie in a weird way, is that like it doesn't want you to care. It's a total period piece too, right? It's the opposite of pretentious in the way of that. It's just like it's completely like meh. It almost feels like a weird like Italian movie or something, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you and we'll probably have to wrap up pretty soon here, but have you seen do you watch Wes Anderson stuff at all? No. Oh boy.
So my wife loves his movies.
Yeah.
The guy like Life Aquatic and Royal Tenenbaums.
Correct.
I don't like his movies, man.
Really?
I don't like get
fair.
it. You know, like
and I get that. I think, you know, I think you either get it or you don't. No,
Yeah.
I could see that. Did you go with Eric and I when we went and saw Royal Tenenbaums when it first came out in the theaters? We got like free tickets, or was that just him and me?
No, that was you guys.
Yeah, we got like from, I think Eric Finale like gave us free tickets, and we went and saw it at that Campbell Theater when it was still like a small theater.
Eric Finale had those Campbell hookups, dude. All sorts of hookups. Get you that free Taco Bravo, those Taco Bravo passes.
Oh, I miss it. Dude, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat some food. Those were good burritos. But yeah, I went and saw it then, and I will say, like, if you're not into his thing, then categorically you're just not gonna like his movies. And there are definitely some of his movies I like more than others.
I would like his movies in like short form, like that whole style and tone. Like I can deal with it for like 10 minutes.
Interesting.
But it's like the whole movie of it is too much. Like, oh, dude, I can't. Like, I think the Royal Tenenbaums is the best one. I've seen all of them because she makes me watch them.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Royal Tenenbaums is the best one. There's also something like, okay, so the one, you know, with the kid, the Boy Scout kid, and he goes off.
Okay, so I was gonna say that's the only one I've never watched all the way through. I fall asleep every single time I watch that movie. I think it is mind-numbingly fucking boring.
It's so two things about
it's the one movie in my mind that he fell off. But go ahead.
And I can't even remember how it ends, so it may be that I didn't sit through it either. I only watched it once.
I couldn't tell you either. Yep.
But it's like, you know, he gets into the movie where it's about like these kids, I guess, sort of in love, and like that weird kid way of being in love, you know, infatuated or whatever you want to call it or whatever. And this is honestly a theme of a lot of his movies. Yeah. But this one in particular, because he's just it's just the kids basically. Yeah. Like it's something creepy about it. Like, why are you making this, dude? Like, I don't want to watch your little fantasy about what little boys and little girls do to, you know, like just not.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess that's true. And it is kind of weird, right? He's done. Okay, well, so I just went and saw the
quick question about him first, because I might be really off about one of my assessments here. Did he make the Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yes.
I love the Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think it's a great movie.
I think it's one of his best.
So like
movies.
all your movies should be that. Royal Tenenbaums are way better for stop motion clay, you know, like weird.
Yeah. Well, did you see the other one he did with the dogs?
No.
Oh, look it up. You'll like that one a lot. Yeah, dude, Fantastic. I'm gonna go watch Fantastic Mr. Fox tonight. But
that's a great movie, man. Like, it's like his style works, you know, in like certain ways, and like that.
It does.
Yeah.
He did one. Oh, Isle of Dogs.
No.
Watch that because it's really good, and it's stop action as well. Yeah, check that out. So here's what I'll say about that. So I just saw the new one that he did, French Dispatch, and it also has some kind of funky shit in it like that, like where it almost feels like, but it's like they're of age, but it's just kind of weird like that. Like I get what you're saying, but Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't put me off like that. But then again, Moonrise Kingdom, if I had to rank his movies, is my least favorite. And then everybody loves Rushmore, and I'm not a huge fan of that one either.
I didn't get it.
My favorite is probably the Grand Budapest. And then I love the Royal Tenenbaums. I just think that's a great movie.
I mean, Royal Tenenbaums is like tolerable. You know, that's like
Life Aquatic is my favorite.
Okay, and I don't think I ever saw all of Life Aquatic. That guy right there. The other thing, he always uses that actor, the actor from Scott Pilgrim, the guy in the Hotel Chevalier. He's on the cover.
The Hotel Chevalier on
Look
the
all the way.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that's in Rushmore. I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, and he's also in Scott Pilgrim, right? He's the like bad boyfriend.
Yep.
This guy sucks, dude. Like he's not. I don't care about him. Like get him out of these movies. Like you're.
Yeah. What's his name? That's
who cares? I don't want to know his name. Don't do it. Don't look up his name. That guy.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's funny in small doses, but he's not my favorite guy in the world, and a lot of people will probably disagree with that. He's kind of like Wes Anderson's movies are to you. It's like people either fucking love that dude and they've seen everything he's in, or they just, if they see something with him in it, they turn it off. And I happen to sort of be on the other side.
Right.
You know, like I'm more apt to turn something off.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
All right, dude. Well, we're at about an hour. Maybe we should wrap up for our first episode. We got the cobwebs
Talked about a lot of stuff.
Talked about a lot of things. This kind of surmises what I feel like this podcast is going to be about. We're going to talk about, something I was thinking about, and you tell me what you think. Like, I feel like for this show, it's like I really want to like nerd out. Like, I want to get in the minutia about things that we're like nerdily interested in.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be funny all the time, and it doesn't have to be serious all the time.
Sure, yeah.
It's just like, I just don't want to be afraid to like talk about Wes Anderson movies. Like,
I'm down. Like, I like diving into, we'll try to do a better job of like coming up with subjects ahead of time.
Sure.
That, like we could, hey, go watch this.
Today was like an AV test. It all worked out really good. And yeah, man. I want to do like a wrap up every show. Like maybe, some sort of reoccurring wrap up, whether it's like, shout outs, apologies,
mailbag,
confessions, mailbag. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a mailbag.
Someone has to care enough to ask us a question.
Yeah, start mailing us. But yeah, man, I really had a good time, and thank you for being here today. Maybe it's just maybe that's what it is. It's just thanking you for being here.
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah. And anybody that's listening or watching, thank you. And check us out at the ITP show on Reddit, on Instagram, on Discord. And then we are the Internet Television Podcast Show on YouTube.
Yeah, right now, probably the best place to watch the videos on the YouTube. We're still working out the deal with Disney Plus, but we'll be available there eventually. I'll let everyone know when the Disney Plus deal is ready.
We're actually like in the talks of a deal on Disney Minus.
Right.
And it's not going well, but you know what? We're going to get there. We're going to come to we asked for nothing and they didn't want to give us that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but check us out, click subscribe, click likes, go watch Wes Anderson's movies, and send try to put some money on Joe Exotic's books. He's
I think he's good, dude. Money wise, I think
he's probably
doing real good.
He's probably got, this is a whole other conversation, but that dude's probably gotten so many crazy fan money letters and everything. So
yeah, he's already got a new husband.
I know.
And his husband is a smoke show, dude. That dude is
good
hot.
Looking one.
I mean, he's hot, dude. Like it's obviously just trying to get publicity. Like, let's go out on him.
This is Exotic's new boyfriend. This is
Seth.
Seth. We're gonna look.
Get Dylan Passage out of here. No, none of this. This is the old guy.
Hey,
dude.
that's Dylan Passage.
This is Tiger King 1 crap, man.
What?
Dude, how about your boy? Look at I think it's there, right there. He was there.
Oh,
yep.
Hello.
Boom.
Let's
Boy's
see.
a beefcake, dude.
Look at that guy.
Look at in just 3 boyfriends.
I can't.
How much this dude upgraded.
There he is. Look at that fella right there. I know. That's pretty crazy, actually. He went from like a guy with 4 teeth to a guy with all his teeth to a stud.
He went with a guy with 4 teeth to like what I would say is like an average looking guy to a full on stud, right? He went from below average to full on this guy's a 9 or a 10 out of 10, dude. Like,
I don't know if everybody would agree with that.
I know that it's subjective, but like there are things about him. The big question is, how tall is this dude?
He's probably taller, I don't know. He could be 5'4".
I think he's shorter.
But anyway,
it's maybe to look ripped if you're short.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I look so buff. I'm only 5'2". People on the internet, you probably can't tell, but I'm only 5'2".
Yeah. He's sitting on like several phone books.
They still make phone
which
books?
is weird. Where'd you even find them?
Old ones. Nice.
All right, dude. Well, have a good rest of your night, and thank you, everybody. We will see you next time.